Hi, I'm Curt Frye, and in this video, I'm going to start talking about Markov chains, and I will spend a little bit of time describing them before I show you how to use them in videos later in this playlist. So let's start with what is a Markov chain. Well, it summarizes a process defined by states, and the classic example is a simple weather system. We have three possible states: sunny, cloudy, and rainy. And the question is, how do we transition and how often from one state to another? If we're sunny, then 60% of the time the next day will be sunny, 30% it will be cloudy, and 10% rainy. If it's cloudy on a given day, then it's 20% likely that it will be sunny the next day, 30% cloudy, and 50% rainy. And finally, if it's raining, then the next day, there's a 40% chance of it being sunny, 10% cloudy, and 50% rainy. And if this weather sounds a lot like my hometown of Portland, Oregon, then you would not be far off the truth. We can summarize these probabilities in a matrix. And let's take a look at that weather transition matrix now. We go from sunny, cloudy, or rainy using the probabilities that we see here. So for cloudy, and this is the middle row, then 20% chance of sunny the next day, 30% cloudy, and 50% rainy. And the other probabilities are what I described before. This process never ends, but we can get a sense of what a typical day will look like by multiplying the matrix by itself 20 or 30 times to get the steady state or the typical values over the long run. So let's take a look at the transition matrix steady state. So the idea is that we multiply the matrix on the left by itself a large number of times, 20 or 30, and then we get the output matrix on the right side. And any one of the rows will give us the probability for any arbitrary day being one of these states. And reading from left to right, they are sunny, cloudy, and rainy. We can also look at processes represented by Markov chains and see how many steps it would take to move through them. As an example, let's take a look at export review, where a product you're sending overseas needs to go through a number of steps before it is released. There are 5 steps in this process, and it's possible to exit the process after step 5. That means that the probabilities don't always add to 1 because you can exit. However, we can use these values to calculate the expected number of steps. And, in fact, in later videos in this playlist, we will do exactly that. This process transition matrix might look something like this. You start at step 0, and then with the probabilities given, you will move to one of the other steps. So about half the time, you will move to step 1, 20% of the time step 2, and you can read the other probabilities there. Step 6, which again is outside of this, is when the package is approved and you can send it. So that is an overview of the Markov chain process. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like it and subscribe to my channel.